On this hunt, we're hunting whitetails on our farm in Iowa during the pre-rut when the bucks are most vocal and calling is extremely effective. So in this particular scenario, the way this farm lays, the bottoms are kind of open, and so we're able to see deer activity. There's cover on the tops and around the edges of this farm, but the bottoms are actually pretty open. Now there's some cover through the little creek bottoms or thickets where the deer like to travel, and some food sources. So we've kind of got this combination farm set up. But the goal is to get down in the bottom, get the wind in our face after the thermals change, make sure that we're safe and we're not going to get busted with swirling winds, and then get our eyes on deer and try to call them. This isn't a spot where we're going to do a bunch of blind calling. We have the opportunity to see how the deer are going to react if we throw a call at them. So really it's all about going in with our eyes wide open and an open mind, and just let the buck's activity and behaviors tell us how we need to talk to them. This time of year, the buck activity tends to pick up, and you can tell that the testosterone is starting to rage. Their mannerisms are changing. Everybody's a little bit testy and grumpy and aggressive. And when Jeremy and I were in the tree, I knew that we had a younger buck behind us that was up a ways and kind of off to our side, and he was actually chasing a yearling fawn around, and so he was actually carrying on. When I first made eyes on this deer that was coming out of the bottom, I recognized him from some trail cam photos and threw just some short grunts at him to see how he would react, knowing that I had the deer behind me as my quote-unquote real life decoy. This deer was cruising, and it was really more about, I knew the fact that we were going to kind of be in his way. His natural travel pattern was going to take him right up this bottom, and it's the reason why we chose the tree that we were in that night. So throwing a few grunts at him, just simple grunts, just to let him know that we were there, was going to be critical. And again, just knowing he's coming our way, we knew he was going to react in our favor. As the buck got closer, I could tell that he started to posture a little bit. The grunts that I threw at him, I think he thought was the deer behind us. And so as he was getting closer, I could see him posturing, throwing his head one way, throwing his head the other way. You could see him change his lead. And when I say lead, it's kind of his gait or his pattern. So maybe a left foot lead, and then he would turn and throw it and go right foot lead. And it's just all body mechanics and how he's kind of showing off and posturing to the deer behind us. And as he got to about 15 yards, he snort wheezed, which is another dominant type aggressive call or sound that these deer will make towards one another. And when you snort wheezed, it's, you know, those times are always really cool when you're that close to an animal to hear how they really truly interact with each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have got to love Iowa. We got the Big Ten. We just laid him down, folks. I'm so daggone lucky. I'm going to tell you right now, it has been so rough. It has been so rough.
As far as strategy goes, this setup really was all about, again, making sure the thermals were going to stay consistent and give us the right kind of winds we needed. Being in a tree that we were just going to be in their way. It really wasn't about calling them to us per se. It was more about getting in the right spot and just waiting it out, knowing that this time of year the deer are going to travel, and we're sitting right in the middle of that travel corridor between bedding and food. Hey, if you like going behind the scenes with us here at Beyond the Hunt, don't forget to click the subscribe, hit like, and please don't forget to ring that bell for notifications.